Hello everyone, this is Zero's Trivia. Welcome back to a brand new Total War 3 Kingdoms Let's Play on the channel, as we're going to jump back to the base game in 190 without any mods, as we'll play Rong, who we have not touched since the game was launched. And this will be quite an interesting Let's Play, as we're going to have a few self-imposed rules to make things a little bit more interesting. We're going to be doing what's called a Pacifist Rong Let's Play. And the rules are pretty simple. We will not be declaring any offensive wars. We will not fight any offensive battles, which include ambush battles and siege attacks. The only type of fight that we can get into are defensive battles where the enemy attacks us, which include sieging down a settlement either until they surrender, as the turn timer reached the limit, or for the AI to sally out because we'll be on the defending side in such a fight. So our expansions are either going to take quite a few turns as we have to siege every settlement, or we have to defensively beat the AI enough that they will come to the negotiation tables with us in diplomacy for a peace deal and gain some land through diplomacy. Of course, the limitation of that would be capitals. There are other few clever ways we can gain land through annexations, confederations once we reach certain rank, or even through spying, as we can convince AI administrators to turn over their entire commandery to us if we have them as a spy in the enemy faction. So those are a few ways we can expand, and we're going to try to implement this as a strict rule for us throughout the whole campaign. So if you're looking for aggressive expansion and lots of fights, this is not the Let's Play for you. This will be a more passive and more diplomatic Let's Play, as we hope to make it very difficult for ourselves, as we'll have one additional rule, and that is if we are in a time of peace, we cannot keep any standing armies. So all our armies need to be disbanded once a war is over, which will make getting attacked in that first wave very challenging, and also encourage the AI factions to attack us and declare war on us, because we'll look very weak in their eyes, as we'll have zero military strength essentially. And this is particularly true on the higher difficulty that we're playing on, Legendary, and we're playing this on 40-minute battle timer. We might even lower this to 20, but I think for consistency's sake, since all our Let's Plays are 40 minutes, we'll stick to 40 minutes. The only reason why I'm kind of edging towards 20 is because for certain battles, we might be trying to time out the fights for draws, or for maybe a defeat through an encampment battle. In those situations, 20 would be just easier on myself, but I guess we'll stick to 40, and we'll try to avoid those fights because they are a bit cheesy. Now, as a faction, we do have a few faction mechanics. We'll look at them now. Trade monopoly, special type of trade agreement that we can sign that will give us this extra resource, which will basically increase our trade influence. In addition to that, our population in each settlement can also increase our trade influence. So trade is our game, and population is also sort of our thing, as we have a unique school building that will increase income from all sources, grant additional income in the form of culture income for one of the branches, grant population growth, and public order boost. So this is a callback to the fact that Rong is a descendant of Confucius, and he clearly favors schools and education, which is also why we're going with this make schools and not war type of playstyle. We do have a very powerful unique unit though, in the Fury of Beihai for any general rank 3 or higher, and the Thunder of Jian'an for any characters that's rank 6 or higher. These are probably the best crossbow units in the game, and we'll definitely be relying on them for the most part. We also have a unique assignment education program that increases commerce income. It's available to all classes, just an additional way to boost commerce income for us. So I guess we will focus slightly on commerce. And then we have our governorship. So we're loyal to the Han, we're a governor faction. We cannot create our own emperor seats. Once we trigger the king rank 3 kingdom event, there will be 3 factions with seats when we have to capture them ourselves before we get the imperial court. So that will basically slow our progress down. It's particularly interesting at that point because that first seat, we have to take the capital by sieging it out, essentially, since there's no other way that avoids offensive battles. After that, the other 2 seats, we can maybe convince them through abdicate. So that's going to be an interesting challenge as well. We don't have any unique characters with us. We'll talk about some of the characters you do start out with. Some of them are actually pretty historically relevant. We do have some interesting traits on Rong, some additional satisfaction boost to counteract the -10 we get on legendary difficulty, extra experience boost for himself, and some stats. Nothing too crazy. 5 points of population, some cheaper crossbow recruitment cost, and extra 50% trade influence to boost that trade income. Fits our overall faction mechanic. And that's pretty much it. We start out in Beihai with a very hard situation since we're surrounded by yellow turbans, in particularly Huang Shao. Some early game events that dump more yellow turbans on our doorsteps, and we have to survive all that, especially with Huang Shao getting his new faction background of everyone being stock units, making it a bit harder on us, and we have to overcome this in the beginning, especially without the ability to have any type of offensive battles, which includes ambush battles, so that's going to make it even more tricky here. With all that said, China must be united. Let's go.
主公，董卓放火焚烧洛阳城，
真是胆大妄为，作恶多端，生灵涂炭，礼乐尽毁。
老贼仍紧握权柄，挟持献帝，西逃而去。
天下竟由此等恶贼掌控，真可谓日月无光。然而如今内忧不断，急需处理。
主公，黄巾贼负隅顽抗，最强的部队正在你的领地肆虐。
吾等必设学校详叙之教，唯有圣贤之治，可助我等渡此难关。
此刻联军又有何作为？
曹操在背后作祟，只能骗过等闲诸侯。吾观之若雕虫小技，吾必不轻信此贼。诸侯也应如此。
孔融大人才学智术，尽人皆知。若能挽救当前危局，天下必当俯耳倾听。
Alrighty, that's our faction flyby intro. Lord Coral, chaos surrounds you. The Yellow Turban Rebellion spread like wildfire through your lands. You must snuff them out. You must then act to bring an end to Dongzhuo's greed. The Han falters as his grand treason tears the land apart. Liu Bei, an honorable man, could be a firm ally as you build power against the tyrant. The time is now, my lord. China has great need of your wisdom. Defend against Yellow Turbans. Be wary of Yuan Shao to the north. We are to engage this army, but we cannot do so offensively. That goes against our rules. This is a weird army since it's a starter army. If you do engage it, you cannot pull a retreat. So you have to fully engage. We can't use the attack retreat to move out of the zone, which means we have to either disband right here or just patiently wait till he attacks you. It's kind of hard because he's really weak and the AI is not going to suicide his army at us. So unfortunately, we might just have to just disband this whole thing and resummon them a bit later inside the capital here in Beihai, which is our only piece of land at the beginning. Jian'an, as it would be called in Chinese, the local location name. It's a pretty historically accurate star for Coral, who gets assigned into this commandery here, which he will rule very poorly, not in terms of administration, but in terms of defense, because the Yellow Turban will overrun it. He was said to be reading books the night before the siege that the city fell, and then he abandoned the city the next day, abandoning his wife and kids as well. Not the greatest man. It's not like he didn't have any military experience. He actually served in the initial wave of Yellow Turbans in the 184 as a minor official under Wang Yun, actually. And he did well in that fight. Just at this point, he became too fixated on the scholarly aspect, the idea of building schools to take care of the locals. Not something recorded that he said, but something that was said by a Liang province, I think prefect actually, who got assigned and was thinking that, the way to stop these town rebellions is if we build them schools and teach them the way of Confucianism, then they'll behave. Maybe not a bad long-term plan, but definitely very foolish for a short-term solution against rebellions. Regardless, we'll try to do exactly that, as we will definitely build some schools, but we need to build tall for that, so we also need food. As I mentioned, population will actually give us extra trade influence. This is our resource, goes from 0 to 500. I believe each trade monopoly, which is our unique trade agreement, will grant us, I think, 2 points, and it'll just build up. But there is a decay once you hit the additional tiers. Essentially, if you can't maintain more than 2, you'll stop growing. If you can't maintain more than 4 trade, you'll stop growing. If you can't maintain more than 7, you stop growing. And if you can't maintain more than 10, you cannot stay in the final tier. Pretty straightforward. The bonuses are not that great. It's just 100% trade influence. Obviously, that will scale with how many trade agreements you have. And for each army you have on the field, you lose 35% trade influence faction-wide, which is a reason why we did our no standing army rule, as we're still trying to maximize the way the faction is designed to be played, which is our goal. But without offensive battles, we are restricted in many senses. In the first turn, usually, you beat this army up, you take the livestock farm, which gives you a land route to your neighbor, allowing you to trade with the Han Empire. We can't do that now, because we can't fight offensive battles. So, no early game trade deal for us, as we're completely landlocked by enemies. However, because they're enemies, we can maintain armies. So that's good. Speaking of armies and generals, let's take a look at who we start out with. So it appears we have 4 generic generals, and you might think, not important people. Not very true, actually. Well, for Jian'an, very true. Completely fictional character, generic background, never did anything during Three Kingdom, didn't exist, fictional. So we can throw him away, in a sense. He's not very useful as a level 1 character. We're looking for level 3 characters. Of course, you see he has surplus distribution as assignment, not that useful, so I think we can just skip on him, he'll get fired. Wang Xiu here, righteous hero, unique background, but obviously generic artwork. He's actually the least important character of our cast in terms of Three Kingdom history. He was a local official. He didn't actually work directly under Rong. He worked at a province level in the Qing province, and he's known to be very loyal and, I guess, righteous in a sense to whomever was the lord in the area. So when Rong was under siege by Yellow Turbans, Wang Xiu, ran out through the enemy to look for reinforcements for Rong. Righteous guy. You could call him a hero, I guess. And later on, when Yuantan ruled over the Qing province after chasing out Rong a second time, he came back after getting chased out by Yellow Turbans and then got chased out by Yuantan. He served Yuantan with honor and loyalty. And when Yuantan was in trouble, he went to go help him out. Then Cao Cao took over after the Yuan clan fell, and he served the Wei court very loyally as well. So I don't know how you want to say about his achievements. It's not like he flip-flopped. He's just, a down-to-earth official in a local region that served whomever the higher power was, and he served it well. In a sense, that's what you expect from a subordinate. But not so important because he never got to do anything grand in his life. He was just a regional official that dealt with civil matters for the most part. Sun Shao, however, was not going to be living a calm life because he will actually go south with Liu Yao, which we see in 194. Starts out as the faction in the south. He becomes the governor of the Yang province, which is this region here, and he will have a conflict with Sun Ce. The reason why he would go south with him is because Liu Yao's hometown is in Donglai, in the Qing province right here, this commandery. So he ends up bringing a lot of local talent south with him when he was assigned as the governor of the Yang province. He brought Sun Shao and Shi Yi, actually. At this time, Sun Shao was the Gong Cao for Rong. Now, Gong Cao is a government position that is actually pretty powerful and controls a wide variety of things. Essentially, all matters of a commandery, except for the appointment of officials. So he had no power for appointments and firing. What we call 人事, basically HR, but with decision-making powers, right? That resided in the local administrator. So Kong Rong would have a say on the court, on the positions in the commandery, but everything else, the Gongcao have a say in. So things like criminal courts, things like how things are run, local laws, very talented man. And he gets to showcase that talent after Liu Yao is defeated by the Sun clan, and he joins the Sun clan and eventually will become the first prime minister of the kingdom of Wu. So once Sun Quan becomes emperor, Sun Shao gets appointed to be the first prime minister. So kind of a shame that he doesn't even get a unique background here, as he becomes quite an important character in the history of Three Kingdoms. Shi Yi is also quite an important character in the kingdom of Wu. He too goes down south with Liu Yao, and after his defeat, joins the Sun clan. He will become a scholar in the court, and he would also have a military role, actually. He was a lieutenant of a few units. But his main contribution is being a tutor to first Sun Quan's eldest son, the first crown prince. And after his passing, he would join the Prince of Lu, who is Sun Quan's fourth son's court. He was his chancellor. And while he was the chancellor, he was actually the one to voice up concerns about Sun Quan's treatment of the new crown prince, which was Sun Quan's third son, because Sun Quan lived a long time, till his late 70s. Thus, he outlived his eldest son. So when his first crown prince died of natural causes, he decided to pass on the crown prince position to his third son. But at the same time, his fourth son, who was given the title of Prince of Lu. Now, Lu is not a location in the south. Lu is actually the Qing province here. But you can give titles away, even though if you don't own the land, it's just symbolic. And the problem Sun Quan had was he was very iffy on the direction of inheritance. So even though he named one of them crown prince, which you expect to get favorable treatment, both of these sons received the same type of treatment at court. So same type of carriages, same type of court that they could have themselves, same amount of monetary rewards. And this created a confusion among the Wu court as cliques formed around these princes supporting either one. And the Prince of Lu himself also got the sort of illusion and the ambition to become the next emperor. He wanted to be the next crown prince, so he constantly had political battles with his older brother. And Shi Yi realized this was going to be a problem. So early on, he went to Sun Quan and asked to either promote the crown prince's status and make him a step higher than the Prince of Lu, or demote his own boss to make him appear to be weaker than the crown prince, to give a clear indication to the court which way, well, technically the crown prince's way, because he was already named the crown prince. But Sun Quan didn't do it. Sun Quan was very iffy in his old age with a lot of his inheritance decisions. And by the time this struggle got out of hand, as the court of Wu got divided, Sun Quan ended up executing his fourth son, the Prince of Lu, because he got really tired of the court fighting each other. And you would think that means the crown prince, the third son, had won. But no, Sun Quan ended up abolishing him at the same time and making him a commoner, and ended up giving the crown prince position to his youngest son, his seventh son, whose mother was his favorite concubine at the time. Sun Quan was in his late 60s when he did this. And he died not long after, and this youngest son was a bit too young. So here comes the regents. Zhuge Ke gets his chance, and the Wu court basically never recovers after that. There is constant infighting as different regents pass hands, and different siblings, including the abolished crown prince line, makes a return, and there's a ton of infighting among the Wu court afterwards. So Sun Quan really did mess up his inheritance, and Shi Yi played a role in trying to fix it, but Sun Quan didn't listen. So both of them have quite a high accomplishment. I think he was also given a marquis title in Wu as well. But it's a shame. He's also just generic here. with the advisor role. So what are we going to do here at the beginning of the game? We can look at diplomacy. Unfortunately, we can't trade because we're landlocked, which really hampers us. We can, however, pull off some political moves. We could become a vassal of Dong Zhuo. He's happy to take us in and pay us. Not really what I'm looking to do, because we'll make a ton of enemies. I just want to see what weapons and items he starts out with, because, wow, we started out with a lot of stuff. Nothing good. What about the Han? Alright, nothing good. Last chance. And negative. So, nothing interesting here. We did somehow land 4 items. 2 weapons, 2 armor. Not bad. Definitely help with this initial fight. Now, we're looking to take this port, which is our only way to get trades. Since we can't do any sort of diplomacy, I think we actually just want to delete this group. We can set up an early assignment with Sun Shao here, which will help speed up construction down the line. I think we want to get this leveled up because only at small city can we upgrade the tax building all the way up, which is a easy income early on and some way to level up our officers, as the rebel will likely attack us, giving us a defensive fight, which we really need. Academy of Culture, this is our school building. As we mentioned, population growth, public water, and eventually here, income from all sources. Huge population growth, by the way, but upkeep. Alternatively, no upkeep. No income from all sources, but a base income of culture, special income, that can get boosted by income from all sources percentage. The smaller population growth is still very attractive. It does suck some population from nearby commanderies, but think of it as a multiplier. You take 2k from each adjacent commandery, maybe have 2 or 3, and you get 6k. As they cross the border, boom, you clone them, and you get 25k somehow. So if you have this in adjacent commanderies that you own yourself, you're just net growing your population, essentially. So it's a great building. It does cost a bit and does have some reform requirements, but I think it's the same reform requirement line that you expect from the school building. So we'll definitely try to go down this route in the future. But right now, I think tax is the way to go. Something free. We don't have a lot of money. We're going to try to save up some money to build out our first group of Furies of Beihai, preferably on the character that will become our first administrator. We currently don't have one in the beginning. And to get one, we also need to hit small city to get that reform for it. So this is a priority here. Hopefully we get this by the 2nd reform, which is our goal. What else can we do? I think we're disbanding. He's getting fired for sure. Are we keeping him? That's another question. Not great bonuses. I don't want to adopt him. Even though we are old enough to be his dad, it just feels weird. We can find ourselves a wife, I'm sure, so that we have an heir. Right now we don't have an heir position, so we're losing out on some potential satisfaction hits. He seems... I mean, even with this 50% desire for higher office at level 1, I guess it's just general discontent. He just doesn't have anything to be happy about. What happened to your loyalty? He's a good character. This minus 100% desire for higher office makes him a good assignment character, because he can level up all the way, you know, forever, and he will never complain. So we'll keep him. Let's take a look at everyone, actually. Unbreakable. Maybe he's a decent administrator once he hit rank 3, though. We cannot give him Fury Beihai before that, and we really want to give him that, since that would add a garrison of really powerful units, since we have to defend their garrisons without standing armies. That's going to be quite crucial. The military infrastructure building suddenly becomes really attractive to me, even though we will never build that in a regular campaign, so this does switch things up. Now, even though historically he is quite interesting, I think he's someone we fire as well. I don't see why we would use him. We can share one interesting story about him before we do fire him, actually. Let me first get rid of the army. So he will be recalled, potentially go on assignment. We gotta get rid of these because we don't want to resummon them or redeploy them with the extra cost on the unit. And he will be recalled. This is just to get us out of his zone, or else we have to just offensively attack him, which is something we don't do. He will be fired for being fictional. He will be fired for being useless in game. The last thing I want to share about him before we fire him is his name. Kong Rong actually changed his name. So his name, I know Chinese is not everyone's language and seeing this character is just a symbol, but the story is his surname, family name, was changed by Kong Rong. His original name was also Shi, but a different character. The Shi that he had was the character you use for clans. So when you discuss like someone's wife, what clan she used to be from, you often say Wang Shi or Zhao Shi. Or even when you say your name and clan, you say Xing Shi, which is a character we talked about in our naming lore series a couple weeks ago. And he had that as his surname, which is a very uncommon surname, by the way. And this is even more uncommon. So when Kong Rong met him, Kong Rong's not local to this particular area in Beihai. He is from this general area, as Confucius it was from the kingdom of Lu in this region way back during the Warring States. But when he saw his name, he was like, you know, your name, it's not that great because Shi looks like this, which is very close to the character for people, which has a little extra square on top of the character. And the character for square in Chinese is the character for mouth, so someone's mouth. So he's saying, you know, you work as a government official and your name is the people without their voice. So that's a bad sign. So how about we change your name to this character, which sounds the same, but means affirmative. And he did it, which I feel is so unbelievable because who would change their family name? It's not even like your regular name. It's your family name. But he did it. So he stuck with it. And this is how we ended up with this surname. Good for you, but you're getting fired. So release from service. We could banish for a little bit extra money. The satisfaction hit will wear off in 5 turns. And if we look at our current roster of characters, he'll drop to, if we banish both, he'll drop to 17. He'll drop to 18. It's not the end of the world. But I guess we could avoid it, so he's at 22. See, the thing is, he's going to drag this down on us no matter what. So we might as well dip it for 5 turns. That's my thought process. Yeah, let's have a very bad firing. Goodbye. And goodbye. Yeah, look at the crying faces. Same debuff as we would have had. It's actually refreshed and gone, but it's going to come back next turn. Is there a chance to get turncoated? Maybe. It's turn 1. The AI would have to be very bored to target us. But maybe they will. Maybe I'm asking for it. Would I care if I lose those characters? Not really. Now, we didn't get any satisfaction item. So while these are great combat mechanics, they're not going to really help us early on with this. So we're just going to wait it out. What else can we do? We need to find ourselves a potential heir, which means we need to wait for a female character to spawn. We could do the alternative gambling in terms of assign marriage. I'm not sure if I'm up for that. It could just end up being Sentinel, Strategist, or Commander. We definitely want a Commander. So I think we just wait. We wait till a female Commander spawns in our recruitment pool, which tends to happen pretty early on. And we can have our pick of the litter then. So we'll save our money. And we can't do anything else. That might just be it. What a start. We can't do this until we rank up. How far are we? We're very far. Right, no prestige. Well, let's continue. Now, I don't think the starter army actually is aggressive, which is why we would just be trapped there. It's a weird situation where we're just not doing the early emissions. But I guess this is an experience. Alright, so there is a female, but not what we're looking for. Let's take a look at their willingness to spy, to judge if they're spy themselves or not. We're looking for level 3 characters or higher, but preferably sentinels and maybe champions, because we want them to also be administrator. Unfortunately, he's not willing to spy, so I don't know if I should trust him. Jian'an, all the way down south. I don't trust him. Feels like a spy. He's the other choice here. We could also adopt one of these guys, but I don't know if that's what we really want to do. Now, he does have 10% commerce. No, I think we patiently wait for a better candidate. Alright, Cornwall comes back out. Wangxiu, there's no assignment for him right now, so he would have to come back out with me. Just to make sure he doesn't get any of those lack of purpose satisfaction hits. To survive the initial wave of Yellow Turban action, do we hold our army and sacrifice our income? Or do we let Cornwall defend our little town? Because the fact that we don't have walls yet means they can't really touch us here. Looping's still a thing, and Wangxiu is unbreakable. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Maybe we'll give him a weapon right now? Why not? Do we save that for the Administrator? I guess we can just grab it off of him once we do get that Administrator. Oh, I guess we do start out with these items. It wouldn't help that much. Like, we wouldn't be going over to 25 plus, which is the key number. He would, though. So, you get to hold on to one of these. I guess I'll give it to you. Like, why else, right? We don't have any use for it. And, yeah. That's that for now. Waiting for this to finish. Would we ever want to rush it? Is there any chance we can get to a small city build by rushing buildings before we hit spring next year? Because if we do that, we can get this, the eunuch secretaries, and pick up administrator slot, which would totally change our defensive play. Yeah, let's do it. That means next turn's winter. We rush next turn for 1,000, build the next upgrade, rush in spring, pick up the reform. That would be the play. Wait for a nice female character and potential sentinel for administrator. Let's go. Yeah, that army just never bothers us. And we never finish even our first mission. No recruitment? No new characters? I'm sad. Yeah, I don't think we'll be recruiting any, vanguards to recruit for administrator job or to hire Furies of Beihai on top of them. All right, we have to rush this now and immediately go for the small city upgrade. This will... How is our food situation going to handle this? Okay, perfectly, actually. Exactly 0. But we'll rush this for 2,000 next turn, which we can afford. And then we'll basically be good with that first reform. Now, we don't have a actual officer that we can put in right now as administrator. We could technically call him back and assign... Should we do that, actually? We wouldn't be able to give him the units that we would want, but he would be able to gain level through building buildings, which will help him get to level 3. He's good. Stubborn gives him unbreakable. Being also 10% commerce and silk and spice, that's good as well. And also like the fact that he eventually will get precision, all these good arrow boosts for the unit that we will give him. Maybe that's the way to go here. I mean, this would be the highest expertise we can give. We'll probably want to give him this. So yeah, since we already got the effect for this on the construction, we can pull it now. That way he's available as administrator, and then we can put Wangxiu in as... Actually, we need him on the field, unfortunately. Yeah, we need to get more characters. Let's hope we get that, but let's continue. And we really want to get a port, but that's going to be a long siege, right? We can only siege it down, which means we expose Beihai. We can only do that really once we have a solid defense. Oh, I pray for... well, the character is not bad, right? Especially getting a unique background here. He's rank 2. So close to be rank 3. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to click the other way. Not the end of the world. We're probably going to pick him up. Alright, first is this. This is what we have to do to pick up our first reform that we want, which surprisingly is a eunuch secretary. Because we're a scholar. And we would want him. Look at all those bonuses that are irrelevant. Well, the construction cost one is the one that we really want for what he will bring. We're going to grab this weapon from him for the big expertise burst, which should increase 2%. Hey, that's 2% that we didn't have. Nothing else, though. This actually decreased the amount of expertise we get, so we're not using that. Yeah, I think he's going to be placed in here. And we're probably going to actually... Yeah, we'll summon him out later to give him units once he hit rank 3. Hopefully he hits that soon. We don't have a character right now, but maybe this is when we hire Lu Fan here. Down the line, Spice and Silk, very, very far down the line. But I guess we can't be picky. He would be our best shot. Also, we can, yeah, we'll take him. Well, double clicked. Okay, so. All right, skill tree, iffy. We send him out on assignment to hit him till level 3. And then we can also, in the future, make him... We'll switch him to Administrator first if he hits level 3 first, I guess. We can take advantage of our unique assignment. This one. Population growth, 75% commerce. Even though we have no commerce income. But 3k population growth, we'll take it. And he's just there to gain a level. Alright. We don't have much money. So it's going to be tax building level up. I don't think we have the reform for the third one. But we should have money next turn to build probably in building. Maybe school. We'll see which way we are going to go. I guess I'm leading and authority should help with satisfaction. Everyone's actually above 25 now, thank God. And that's that. We gotta save money for buildings and then save money for our little units to survive whatever early game onslaught and take the port. Ideally, we bounce back his attack. No, sorry, no coalition. Not gonna pay you the farm. Yeah, well, ideally we bounce back the first Huangsha attack and then we go take Luan over there. But the AI might not work to our benefit. No new characters, that's fine. Do we just want to rush her, or do you want to take this opportunity to save some money? 600 to speed up. I mean, this is not an income generating building. That's the thing. And for it to become an income generating building, we need to go to tier 4, which requires more reforms. So it's probably not the ideal first build. I think the inn is probably still the first build here. 2-turn construction. Yeah, we could rush and actually afford it. So let's do it. Just to get it going. Let's go. Like, money can't really do much for us right now. Saving it doesn't make a lot of sense. Huangshao's not coming. Sun Jian's already dead. Another overseer. Wow. Shen Pei from Yuan Shao. Willing to spy. Dependable background. Local satisfaction is actually quite useful to stick him in the army. I like him. Just as a general combination here. We did fire our only champion. So welcome to the squad. Do we deploy him though? I don't know if we have enough money to deploy him. Barely. Doesn't like Wang Xiu. Huh, well, too bad. I don't like his units though, so they are gonna go. And he's gonna get an overseer as well. I'm not gonna remove the one on him because at least we get authority on that. Maybe something slightly more aggressive. Expertise is actually super important. Yeah, that's fine. Also kind of missing a level, but that local satisfaction boost, it's gonna help everyone. All right. So we're still in the progress of building up and waiting for that first attack. Yeah, getting ourselves started here might be the most difficult part of the game. But dragging out to a long game, because we have to siege and everything, might actually make the AI super powerful by the end. Oh, we got a wife candidate. Please be willing to spy. Yes! Okay. Both of you are decent candidates, actually, for recruitment. So let's see. Like surplus market, maybe, but everything else really bad. Be a good wife. Decent enough. Faction was wiped. Okay. Wait, Zhang got wiped? Okay. Local satisfaction. So all the bonuses are really bad. Maybe we should wait for a better wife. There's no rush. All right, let's get our buildings continuing to level up here. As we approach tier 3, that's the last we'll get before we need reforms. So let's get to the maximum income we can have, and then we'll start pumping out units. Ideally, we find them. I can't afford any of these. I'm sorry, guys. I know you're only asking for 18 per turn, but that's still a significant portion of our income. 1%. And I don't really want to deal with him just now. He needs to help us beat up one of these guys so we can trade with him. But he probably already filled his trade slot. Deltran triggers, so Dongzhuo going to die. This is not going to be one of those Dongzhuo lives forever campaigns. Mao Jie, a great administrator. Willing to spy. He's great because he gives a local 25% corruption discount or reduction. We can't miss out on him, I guess. Wow, our recruitment's getting filled. I kind of want to dump Wang Xiu there. Maybe I dump him, just make him a Simon character. Like, he's still valuable in that regard. So if I, say, swap him... Oh, wow. Look at who he doesn't get along with. Maybe we hold off on that. Because unless we plan to make him switch with Sun Shao, who is still pretty decent, especially with the discount on the building, which makes me kind of not want to switch him. He will level up once this building completes. Yeah, I think we don't actually want to do much here. We can actually afford our first army, which takes about 4,000. Oh, we can't afford it yet. Next turn. Next turn we can afford it. Which will just be 6 Fury Beihai. Yeah, that's all we're going to run, actually. So let's buy those units next turn and see what happens. Mao Jie will stay in our pool. Ooh! I see a border with a friendly faction. Do you have a trade deal open? Ah, you and Liu Bei. No, I mean, nothing makes sense right now because, like, we don't have an army, so we just appear weak for diplomacy. Liu Bei took this, but they're trading with each other. That first mission is abandoned. How do we capture? We capture this from Liu Bei. Aborted. That army probably got wiped by Liu Bei. Anyhow, that's fine. Maybe he'll get an additional trade route in the future, and we can squeeze a trade in right there. It's nice to have him as a neighbor anyways. We got the first level up, which I feel like we actually go for I don't know, this is the commerce income boost, and we actually do have commerce income now. Yeah, let's go for that. He needs one more level, then we pump him out, give him Fury Beihai, return him back in. Definitely tax building upgrade, I feel like. Unless we want level 4 inns, which would be kind of the maximum level inns. No, I still think the free building is our priority here. So let's go this route once we get a chance. And now is just like pump out our first army to actually get ourselves a port to see which factions on the map we can actually trade with. Times 6, 4,000. We're actually a little short. I don't think we can get that many units. Any chance we can grab an instinct boost, right? The higher the instinct, the cheaper the units. So we would want to borrow this. 9 instinct. Yeah, that would be as much as we can get. We can do a title swap, but I don't think it makes sense given how small our army would be. It went down a little bit, but that little bit might be all that matters in terms of affording 6 units or not. It is, right? Because we saved just enough to get that 6 unit, or else we wouldn't have. Because if you divide by 6 here, you get less than 5, so like a 4-point change. But we got like 8-point discount, I think. So we saved 48. Yeah, good for us. We were 20 short. All right, this army is going to take a while. You can see our income just tanked, and that's why we're going to rely on the free building afterwards. We're not going to rush this because we don't have the spare money. Once this army is ready, we're going to go siege down the trade port. Sounds good. Let's continue. Yeah, we're probably not going to end up getting Maljia. He's just a little bit too high level, a little bit too expensive for us at the moment. Zhengong. Ah, unique artwork. See, that's a different story. We don't have enough cash, but like, he'll be here next turn as well. My question is, okay, no past loyalty, so he's clean. He's not a spy. I guess I mean, for the unique artwork, maybe we go for it. I'm gonna take it for extra ammo. And that's it. Anything we can sign diplomatically, because now we actually do have some military strength. 0 points. Wow, what a change. Yeah, everything looks not as good. I'm trying to think if this will shift that. It's not. So it's not really worth. At least we're not perceived as a threat to anyone. Safe. Oh, Dongzhuo's dead. Oh, Delchan spawned, so we knew this was coming. Always need to check. I mean, it's potential for administrator, but not the case. We'll be ready next turn. Thank God. Let's get this. So this 3 turns should time nicely with the next spring for the next level up that we'll use, and we'll just basically be saving money through building free buildings, and we can start trying to capture something next turn. Now, why is Xiahou spawning now? Wait, he has his own faction? Yeah, so I think he got married into the faction, which is how he became a leader before he got destroyed by Wutugu. It's just weird. He should be a lot younger. Like, he shouldn't be born, like, not born, but like, he shouldn't be of age yet. Ah, Fan Chou, one of the Western warlords. Alright, let's do this. We can finally attack. By attack, I mean siege, and patiently wait for them to challenge us. How many turns to starve out? 5 turns. Alright. Now we wait. And hopefully no counterattack over here. He might. We have just this. He's not level 3 yet. Each building gives him 1,000-point experience, I think. And obviously we haven't built that many. We'll get a couple more, but it'll take some time. Yeah, the initial recruitment phase is over. I can give him this sword. I mean, but then the authority would drop for the whole faction because of the... Actually, it's fine. Because the drop wouldn't be that significant, and his boost will be significant enough to keep him afloat, which means we don't get hit with a negative penalty. And I don't think Shenpei needs this item anymore. It was just for the recruitment discount. Now it's everyone stay happy. Alrighty. Yeah, Chengguang's still waiting for us. We actually have money. It's a tough call. He does have a unique ability set as well. Nothing else is really that great. Just be an extra mouth to feed, but a unique model. Yeah, we can't resist. Let's do it. Hello. Yeah, he's going to be angry at us very soon. Recently, Hire goes away. He's going to have nothing to do for a while. We could summon him onto the field just to stand there, make sure he doesn't accumulate anything bad. Do we want him to hit level 3 before him? Right? Because the assignment is currently on him. I guess the second he hits level 3, we pull him. And then we swap the two. He's using a bunch of items to keep himself happy, and Chengguang's going to have the same situation. Maybe we don't need him anymore. That might be the new move because they're kind of redundant. Like, certainly this is good, but it's probably good like in 150 turns. And that's just not going to do much for us. Only thing that's maybe keeping me is this loyal trait, which decrease a little bit of the desires, and that's not on Chengguang. Analyze weakness does help with duels. And the artwork just always trumps. Okay, so... yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for you, but we got a better replacement, so what do you know? Alright, that just swapped this turn, so we gotta do this next turn for him. But let's continue. Ah, here he comes. He's not healthy though, so I guess that's good. Now, one concern is our military supply, as we have to stand there in siege. So Chengguang is going to pick up the old job, and we're going to fire him. We can't really keep extra mouth that we don't need. We're just not that faction. Now the items need to come over. Alright, we fine. Go south. Go to a faction that you belong to. Yeah, perfect timing on that with next spring. Just have to wait this out. 4 more turns. They're not going to come out ever. They are pretty wounded. Not saying that we're confident we can hold, but I think we have a good shot. So let's go. Still not paying us? Yep, still no then. Probably ambushed. Regardless, we don't have to really worry about it. We're just going to stand here. Ooh, relationship. Shenpei is more useful than Wang Xiu, so better build a relationship with him. War Axe. It does more damage. Actually, not. I mean, faster attack rate. I'm not sure, actually. This might be better with the higher base damage. By a lot. Yeah. No thanks. We could probably trade it away in the future. Right, so this is stuck, but thankfully, we have our reform, which means we're going to keep going down this way. Pick up at least the tax building early on. I think it's a pretty easy and cheap way to keep us afloat. 5 turns, perfect for when it's back on, ready to go. Alright, let's see what Huang Shao does. Sure. Is he across the coast? Did he take this already, or did he just see us?
我们不会攻击你的。
Oh, you had... I should have checked last turn. He picked one up. Play through reforms as well. Then maybe he just picked it up. No.
如此只得作罢。
Well, the fact that we are not having an army and keeping ourselves weak means we'll have no shortage of war declarations. So did Gong Sun Zan take... Yeah, he took that, which means he got vision of us. Immediately declared war. Pick on the weak. Any chance we can trade? No. Rats. He's the only one. If we make peace with him, we can trade with him. But we need to discourage him by giving him a beatdown first. Oh. We don't have a land route. Great. We don't have... We need that port. We need that port. That's what we need. Tao Tian, you got a third one, but we don't have a route because Liu Bei is hugging us. Not cool. Anyways, a few more turns here. Yeah, we're gonna run out of supplies eventually, but that's fine. That's the price of doing that type of siege. And we'll see a big stack from Gong Sun Zan, no doubt. I don't actually care about the population, so this might actually be something we're interested in. Because we... Oh, Taishitsu is available. Because we don't own the whole commandery, so like the population loss is very limited here. What's the loss down on the Civil War? He's available. I like his bonus, but I don't know if I can make him my heir. It feels kind of weird. He probably have no former factions. High Empire. We take him. I can't resist. I don't think the Han ever spies on anyone. Yeah, Taishitsu is coming to us. He's like the perfect character for us. Which actually makes Shenpei pretty expendable. He still has this reach combination, which is good. Wang Xiu is actually the expendable one. Like, how is he useful except for being unbreakable? I mean, the key is hail of arrows. That's our ticket. Now, extremely high expertise. If we can capture Luan, making him the administrator there will be perfect. But then that means we have to sit him down, which is not ideal, right? Because we want him on the field, so he's probably not going to end up becoming an administrator anywhere. Yeah, he has 3 range abilities. It's pretty sick. Someone took his bow in the Han faction, no doubt. Right, we want to slot him into this army. Well, it has to be after the siege, right? We can't do anything. It's almost time. We can't even demand surrender. Let's just, yeah, keep starving it out. At least we got Taishitsu. Let's temporarily give him a pig to keep him happy. And yeah, we're just trying to keep things shaved down. We're gonna send him out. Wow, that's a huge retinue. Right. So he comes preset with a huge retinue that we can dump into administrator position really, really well. But, like I said, he's super good on the field. But I guess he's super good as administrator as well. Just because we can use Hail of Arrow in defensive battles too. Sure. Emergency administrator swap for when we get attacked. How about that? In the meantime, next turn. They came out before they had to surrender next turn. Alright, we get to fight! Yeah! Defending side. This might be what happens throughout the game. The turn before the AI have to surrender settlement comes out and be like, I'll fight you now. after you wasted all your supplies, sieging me for the last 4 turns.
我军只许胜，不许败。我等今日荣光，可留民于。
Yeah, the setup is extremely simple. We have really, really powerful units that will just shred units on approach. We have the highest range in the game, 250. They are not going to be able to shoot us. The melee cav are going to be a little bit annoying. We are probably going to have to use our generals against them. But even this, like with the amount of units we have compared to them, those melee calves are probably going to get shredded too. The question is, are they going to get shredded fast enough? I'm going to have some manual targeting here because we don't want the enemy archers to shoot us at all. So we should probably manually target them to maximize our range advantage. Look how fast they die. Ah, they still shot back. It's okay. We lost one.
哈！敌军士兵正在溃逃，准备开战，万箭齐发，射击敌军。
Like I said, generals probably have to take care of the cavalry.
鼓起勇气，准备就绪，挺住，准备就绪。
Fight. It's fine. Yeah, not bad. Alright. Ideally, we chase down every single kill, or else we have to continue the siege. If we do kill all of them, then we don't have to continue the siege. I don't know if we can pull that off, though. Like, these 3 probably got away. We don't have the speed for it. Oh, who let this guy go? Can we not kill them? Are they just out of range? I'm hoping those 3 calves actually don't trigger, like they basically just get disbanded, because that's 10% of the unit. So technically that's a threshold where you just lose the whole unit. We'll see what happens. That's fine. That's probably under the threshold of 10% as well. So yeah, it's only 2 of those left out of 120. Yeah, that charge killed plenty. But I figured, you know, we might as well take out their range. Money? I think the siege continue. Oh no! Yes, we took it! Perfect. Displaced populations for something Taltian to worry about. None of our business. I don't care about population, but I do care about the level of the settlement, so Occupy is the way to go here. Alright. What a perfect start, if you can consider that perfect. But that's probably as perfect as things are going to be for us with the way we are setting to play. Yu Jin's coming to join us too. Good Sentinel with Administrator stats already. Get him level 3. Pump him some Fury of Beihai. Slap him to a Commandery. Taichitsu is staying with us on the field, I think. I think that's the way to go here. Right, so I think that's a great start. Military supply still tanked, and I don't think it's coming back anytime soon. We gotta rest here for a little bit. Gong Sun Zan's at war with us. I think Wang Xiu is probably gone. I don't think he's useful. I think Taichitsu should come out, get rid of his retinue, we'll pay for it, and then have him just be a good Hail of Arrow character. And then Yu Jin can be our administrator for Le'an once we take it. That's our next goal. And then we'll see if we can get some trade partners now that we have a port. Yes, trade monopoly. So I know it says no here, but we can give them whatever to get them to say yes. You know, it's very small values. We can make it work, get some trade deals going, and continue from here. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. See you all next time. Bye.